Howdy folks, how's it going? Aloha from Hawaii. I'm here in the beautiful rainforest, as you can see, on the island of Kauai. A little bit of a cloudy, somewhat rainy day, a little bit of sun, kind of typical, especially for winter. The weather just kind of goes back and forth, so getting a few little sprinkles on me at the moment. We'll see what transpires over the next few minutes. So this video is on the subjects of science and spirituality and how they are blending together to a great extent, especially within the so-called New Age movement. So there are a lot of people out there who are in this vein of mixing together science and spirituality. David Wilcock, Graham Hancock, Nassim Haramein, who I believe lives here on the island of Kauai, Greg Braden, and lots of others. And so people are researching and trying to figure out how some of these so-called New Age ideas, although many of them are thousands of years old and are simply resurfacing, but then there's also scientific information being offered by channeled entities such as Cryon and Bashar, etc. And so there are, some pretty out there New Age types of concepts. The idea that there are multiple dimensions beyond simply the three dimensions that we know exist in this physical universe. The idea that our thoughts impact and affect the physical realm, that our thoughts have power and force to them, and of course the famous law of attraction, which says that the vibration of our consciousness, of our thoughts and our feelings being broadcast from our being is affecting the world around us and is attracting various events to us in our lives. And so a lot of people, think this is total BS and this is, totally anti-science, and it's just New Age woo-woo, and it's just, a fairy tale or whatever. But there are those within the realms of science who are exploring these types of concepts and others, and are, in fact, confirming that some of these New Age ideas actually have scientific validity. So, I've been reading a book, Dan Brown, The Lost Symbol. Dan Brown is, of course, a fiction author, one of the most popular authors on the planet at the moment. And he writes really interesting books that, even though the writing is very straightforward, they're very plot-driven books. It's really not about character development or insights into the people's personal philosophies and feelings and stuff like that. It's just a plot centered style of writing. But they're engaging. It's great to read on a plane or sitting in a bus station or whatever. It's good reading, and it pulls you in, and it's very entertaining, and you want to know what happens next. But his books are not pure fiction. He talks about a lot of out there ideas, including secret societies, ancient texts, religion, the shadow government, scientific ideas, and his information that he weaves into his books are scientifically accurate, and the facts that he mentions in his books are true facts. So when he mentions the Institute of Noetic Sciences, then that actually exists. When he mentions the CERN particle accelerator in Switzerland, that actually exists. When he mentions some secret society deep within the structure of the Vatican that otherwise, we'd never heard of. He's that actually exists, and he's done his research and he's found out about this stuff, and so he's revealing a lot of kind of secret information, or some of it not so secret, but the ideas that he's discussing are actually verifiable. And so he's doing a hell of a lot of research into real stuff and then weaving that into his fiction stories. So I was reading this book last night and came across a very interesting section in this one chapter. So this is chapter 15, page 85, and there is a woman, Catherine, who is on the cutting edge of science and physics, and she has a super secret laboratory in Washington, D.C. So the character of Catherine would be a fictional character, but within this chapter, then a bunch of things are going to be mentioned that are real things. And so I will just read a page here and then a couple of other sections which speak to some of these New Age concepts that I mentioned earlier in this video. Experiments at facilities like the Institute of Noetic Sciences, which I just mentioned, IONS, in California, and the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab, PAIR. So those are real things, real institutes, had categorically proven that human thought, if properly focused, had the ability to affect and change physical mass. Their experiments were no spoon-bending parlor tricks, but rather highly controlled inquiries that all produced the same extraordinary result. Our thoughts actually interacted with the physical world, whether or not we knew it, affecting change all the way down to the subatomic realm. Mind over matter. In 2001, in the hours following the horrifying events of September 11th, the field of noetic science made a quantum leap forward. 4 scientists discovered that as the frightened world came together and focused in shared grief on the single tragedy, the outputs of 37 different random event generators around the world suddenly became significantly less random. Somehow the oneness of this shared experience, the coalescing of millions of minds, had affected the randomizing function of these machines, organizing their outputs and bringing order from chaos. The shocking discovery, it seemed, paralleled the ancient spiritual belief in a cosmic consciousness, a vast coalescing of human intention that was actually capable of interacting with physical matter. Recently, studies in mass meditation and prayer had produced similar results in random event generators, fueling the claim that human consciousness, as noetic author Lynn McTaggart described it, was a substance outside the confines of the body, a highly ordered energy capable of changing the physical world. So there's this New Age concept that our thoughts affect the world around us being confirmed by science and by these random event generators, these computers. Human thought can literally transform the physical world. As Catherine's experiments grew bolder, her results became more astounding. Her work in this lab had proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that mind over matter was not just some New Age self-help mantra. The mind had the ability to alter the state of matter itself, and more important, the mind had the power to encourage the physical world to move in a specific direction. At the subatomic level, Catherine had shown that particles themselves came in and out of existence based solely on her intention to observe them. In a sense, her desire to see a particle manifested that particle. Heisenberg had hinted at this reality decades ago, and now it had become a fundamental principle of noetic science. In the words of Lynn McTaggart, living consciousness somehow is the influence that turns the possibility of something into something real. It turns the possibility of something into something real. So in that movie, The Secret, then a character or a person in that movie makes the statement, thoughts become things. And that's what they're saying here. Living consciousness somehow is the influence that turns the possibility of something into something real. The most essential ingredient in creating our universe is the consciousness that observes it. Now, on the subject of multiple dimensions, so I just had an interview with Teal Swan a few weeks ago, and she was talking about her assessment that there are 12 different dimensions, and that at the 12th dimension, or else beyond it, I forget, then there is no duality, there is no distinctions, I guess. Everything is just merged as one. So this is just a one statement. Or wait, here, okay. So entanglement theory says that subatomic research had now proven categorically that all matter was interconnected, entangled in a single unified mesh, a kind of universal oneness. Superstring theory was a brand new cosmological model. Based on the most recent scientific observations, it suggested the multidimensional universe was made up not of 3, but rather of 10 dimensions, which all interacted like vibrating strings, similar to resonating violin strings. So Teal Swan said that there are 12 dimensions. Science has apparently detected 10 dimensions. That doesn't mean that they have figured it all out, and there could be other dimensions beyond what science has detected so far, but it's very much in the same vein. Alright, and then one more excerpt here. This is another page that I'm going to read. Catherine reached down and picked up a tiny speck of sand off the deck, holding it up for Trish to see. So this woman, Catherine, is speaking to another woman, a younger woman who's a little bit less experienced in this kind of stuff, but is still really smart and studying the same kind of concepts. It occurs to me, she said, that your metasystems work essentially lets you calculate the weight of an entire sandy beach by weighing one grain at a time. Yes, basically that's right, Trish says. As you know, this little grain of sand has mass. A very small mass, but mass nonetheless. Trish nodded. And because this grain of sand has mass, it therefore exerts gravity. Again, too small to feel, but there. Right. Now, Catherine said, if we take trillions of these sand grains and let them attract one another to form, say, the moon, then their combined gravity is enough to move entire oceans and drag the tides back and forth across our planet. Trish had no idea where this was headed, but she liked what she was hearing. So let's take a hypothetical, Catherine said, discarding the sand grain. What if I told you that a thought, any tiny idea that forms in your mind, actually has mass? What if I told you that a thought is an actual thing, a measurable entity with a measurable mass? A minuscule mass, of course, but mass nonetheless. What are the implications? Hypothetically speaking, well, the obvious implications are if a thought has mass, then a thought exerts gravity and can pull things toward it. Kind of sounds like the law of attraction, doesn't it? If a thought has mass, then a thought exerts gravity and can pull things toward it. So, there we go. New Age concepts being discussed within a scientific paradigm. This is, the cutting edge of science in certain departments of sorts, the noetic sciences, but it is very much bringing together these New Age ideas with verifiable scientific, methods of testing and verifying. And so, when people like to bash the New Age movement and say it's all a bunch of BS and it's all, just ridiculous ideas that people came up with that aren't grounded in reality or whatever, then this is just further evidence and information showing that these ideas are not so out there and so impossible. If thoughts have a mass to them and can affect the physical realm, then things like levitation are not so far outside of the realm of possibility. They're actually within the realm of possibility. So my point is, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's consider these ideas and keep putting them out there and have people continue to explore and investigate and research and verify these concepts and see how realistic they are, and how they can actually be applied to our personal lives, our societies, and move us in the direction, hopefully, of a civilization that is utilizing these types of concepts and these types of energies in order to get off of the fossil fuel technology that we are addicted to at this time, that is very polluting and is a limited resource, and not just fossil fuels, but also nuclear energy, which is a threat to the entire planet. And the Pacific Ocean here is being polluted, being inundated by radioactive waste from the Fukushima nuclear plant in Japan. And we really need to get off of these types of technologies that fuel our societies and start moving in another direction towards more environmentally sustainable, more efficient forms of energy. And there's a whole range of other applicable things that are within this realm that can improve and enhance and greatly advance our lives here on Earth in practical, real ways. So there we go. Feel free to share your thoughts down below the video here. If you have any further information, further resources, throw some names out there, other people that can be considered in their research and their investigations into this realm of science. So thanks for watching. Take care, and feel free to check out the book Dan Brown, The Lost Symbol. It's a pretty good read. All right, take it easy. Aloha.